Chapter 14. The day before Halloween dawned crisp and clear, a deceptive calm settling over Hallowville. Sabrina and Noah had set up a makeshift command center in the library's hidden room, surrounded by stacks of ancient tomes and hastily scribbled notes. "We need to focus on protection," Sabrina said, her finger tracing a line in a weathered grimoire. "If we're going to attempt to break this curse, we need to make sure the town and everyone in it is shielded from any backlash." Noah nodded, his brow furrowed in concentration. "What about this?" he asked, sliding a book towards her. "It talks about creating a protective circle using natural elements." Sabrina's eyes lit up as she scanned the page. "This could work. We'd need to set up points around the town, creating a perimeter. But some of these ingredients, they're not going to be easy to come by." As they delved deeper into their research, a list of needed materials began to take shape. Crystals charged under a full moon, herbs grown in sacred soil, water from a natural spring untouched by modern contaminants, each item presented its own challenge. "We're going to need help," Noah said, running a hand through his hair. "There's no way we can gather all of this on our own in time." Sabrina agreed, already reaching for her phone. "I'll start making calls. If we divide the list among trusted townspeople, we might just pull this off." The response from the community was overwhelming. Within hours, teams had been formed and dispatched on various quests. Lila and her cafe staff took charge of gathering the herbs, their knowledge of local flora proving invaluable. Ethan and the Craftsman Guild set out to find the specific types of wood needed for the ritual staves. Even the children were involved, under the guidance of their teachers, collecting smooth river stones to be used as anchor points for the protective circle. Sabrina and Noah found themselves coordinating the efforts from the library, fielding calls and solving problems as they arose. The energy in the town was palpable, a mix of nervous excitement and determined focus. As the day wore on, reports began to filter in of strange occurrences. Lila's team encountered an unusually thick fog in the woods where they were foraging, temporarily losing their way before a mysterious light guided them back. Ethan's group reported tools mysteriously disappearing and reappearing as they worked to craft the ritual staves. "It's like the curse is fighting back," Sabrina mused, concern etching her features. Noah squeezed her hand reassuringly. "Or maybe it's testing us. Either way, we can't back down now." As evening approached, most of the teams had returned with their gathered materials. The library buzzed with activity as people came and went, dropping off items and sharing stories of their adventures. Amidst the chaos, a hush suddenly fell over the room. Sabrina looked up to see an elderly woman standing in the doorway, her silver hair wild and her eyes sharp with intelligence. "Agatha Blackwood," Penny whispered, awe in her voice. "I didn't think she ever left her cabin in the woods." The old woman strode purposefully towards Sabrina and Noah, her gaze intense. "So," she said, her voice surprisingly strong, "you're the one stirring up trouble in my family's town." Sabrina straightened, meeting Agatha's gaze. "We're trying to protect the town to break a curse that's been hanging over it for generations." Agatha studied her for a long moment, then nodded. "Good, it's about time someone had the guts to face this head-on. I've got something that might help you." From her bag, she produced an ancient-looking journal, its leather cover cracked and worn. "This belonged to my great-great-grandmother. She was there when the curse was first cast. It contains details about the original ritual that you won't find anywhere else." Sabrina accepted the journal with reverence, her hands trembling slightly. "Thank you. This could be incredibly valuable." Agatha's expression softened slightly. "Just be careful, girl. Breaking this curse won't be easy, and it won't be without consequences. Make sure you're prepared for whatever might come through when you tear down that veil." With those ominous words, Agatha turned and left as abruptly as she had arrived, leaving a wake of whispers behind her. As night fell, Sabrina, Noah, and a core group of volunteers began the process of setting up the protective circle. They worked by lantern light, placing crystals and herbs at specific points around the town, chanting soft incantations as they went. The air seemed to thicken as they worked, a pressure building that had nothing to do with the weather. More than once, Sabrina felt eyes upon her, only to turn and find nothing there. It was well past midnight when they finally completed the circle. As the last stone was placed, a ripple of energy pulsed through the air, visible for a brief moment as a shimmering dome over the town. Exhausted but satisfied, the group made their way back to the library. Sabrina's mind was already racing with next steps, plans for the following night's ritual taking shape. "Get some rest," Noah told the volunteers as they dispersed. "Tomorrow's going to be a big day." Left alone in the quiet of the library, Sabrina and Noah shared a look of mingled excitement and apprehension. "We're really doing this," Sabrina said softly. Noah nodded, pulling her into a gentle embrace. "Together," he reminded her. As they parted ways for the night, the weight of what lay ahead settled heavily on Sabrina's shoulders. She fell into a restless sleep, her dreams a swirl of symbols and whispered incantations. Suddenly, her dreamscape shifted. She found herself standing at the edge of a clearing she didn't recognize. In the center stood an ancient oak tree, its branches reaching towards a star-filled sky. At its base, barely visible in the moonlight, was a stone altar. A voice, neither male nor female, whispered in her ear, the convergence point, where it all began, where it must end. Sabrina woke with a start, the dream vivid in her mind. She knew, with a certainty that defied explanation, that she had been shown something crucial. The location of the final ritual, hidden all this time, had been revealed to her. Grabbing her phone, she quickly texted Noah, "I know where we need to perform the ritual. Meet me at the library ASAP." As she hurried to dress, Sabrina's mind raced with the implications of her dream. They had the protective circle in place, they had the knowledge from Agatha's journal, and now they had the location. All the pieces were falling into place, but as she stepped outside, the cool morning air raising goosebumps on her skin, Sabrina couldn't shake a feeling of foreboding. They were as prepared as they could be, but what unseen challenges awaited them? What forces might they unleash in their attempt to break the curse? The sun began to rise over Hallowville, painting the sky in shades of orange and pink. It was Halloween, the day they had been preparing for. In just a few short hours, they would attempt something that hadn't been done in generations, to break an ancient curse and face whatever lay beyond. As Sabrina made her way to the library, she silently hoped that their preparations would be enough. The protective circle was in place, a shield against the unknown. But as Agatha had warned, tearing down the veil could have consequences they couldn't foresee. With each step, Sabrina steeled her resolve. Whatever came, she knew that the people of Hallowville would face it together. The curse had held them in its grip for too long. It was time to break free, to face their fears, and to step into an uncertain but hopefully brighter future. The library came into view, and she could see Noah waiting on the steps. The final phase of their journey was about to begin.